Peter Rasputin, more popularly known as Colossus, was born in the year 1986 during the Chernobyl disaster. This incident caused a number of mutant infants to manifest abilities at an early age, and here he gained the power to cover his entire body in an incredibly dense and organic metal layer, which grants him superhuman strength and durability. He later immigrated to the United States and enrolled at Professor X's School for Gifted Youngsters, and eventually he also joins the X-Men. In the Deadpool movies, after Colossus learns about Deadpool, he attempts to recruit him into the X-Men, hoping to guide him towards heroism and away from his violent tendencies. His unwavering sense of duty and morality often puts him at odds with Deadpool's brutal and chaotic nature, but despite this, Colossus remains an ally, often acting as a moral compass and a mentor figure. He makes it his mission to always support Deadpool, regardless of what it might cost him, and he remains a traditional superhero figure in a world filled with morally ambiguous characters. Ellie Phemister, who is more commonly known as Negasonic Teenage Warhead, is introduced as a young mutant trainee of the X-Men, and she possesses the ability to generate explosive bursts of energy, making her a powerful ally in combat. Her powers manifest in the form of concussive blast and explosive charges, which she can release at will. Despite her relatively young age, Negasonic exhibits a mature, cynical demeanor, and she frequently hangs out around Colossus, who acts as her mentor. She later gets into a relationship with a fellow mutant who is known as Yukio, and through this relationship, we see a softer and more personal side of her. Despite her seemingly negative feelings towards Deadpool, she often helps him out anyways, as she does seem to truly care about him deep down. The Wolverine featured in Deadpool 3 is a variant from the one that we all know and love in the X-Men movies, although he is pretty much the exact same in terms of personality and appearance. This Wolverine is viewed as the worst of any variant though, due to him not being able to save the people he cared about in his timeline. He now lives out his days drinking and sulking, but eventually is kidnapped by Deadpool, and together, they go on an adventure throughout the rest of the movie, with Wolverine gaining hope that he can potentially go back and save the ones that he previously lost, now feeling like he has a purpose in life again. Although Wolverine starts off despising Deadpool, throughout the film, he starts to come around to him, and at the end of it, he gains immense respect for him as he selflessly sacrifices himself with the goal of saving other people. Wolverine attempts to sacrifice himself alongside Deadpool, but due to them coming into direct contact with one another, they are both able to survive, and Wolverine now stays with Deadpool in this new universe, now making new friends and finding purpose that he previously lost. Peter Wisdom, a seemingly ordinary middle-aged man with no superpowers or special abilities, responds to Deadpool's advertisement for team members to join X-Force. He stands out during the recruitment process because, unlike the other candidates, he is completely normal and openly admits that he has no powers. He wants to join simply because he saw the ad and he thought it looked like fun. Despite his lack of abilities, Deadpool is drawn to Peter's enthusiasm and down-to-earth personality, which ultimately leads to the decision for Peter to be recruited. After the failure of the first X-Force mission, resulting in the deaths of pretty much every member, Deadpool later goes back in time and saves Peter. Spoiler warning for the third and final Deadpool movie, we see that Peter works at a used car dealership, and eventually, it is revealed towards the end of the film that every Deadpool from every universe has a Peter, and they halt their attempt in trying to kill our Deadpool so they can celebrate the life of his Peter since they love and miss their Peter so much. Nathan Summers, who goes by the name Cable, is a time-traveling soldier from a dystopian future, driven by a personal vendetta. His primary motivation is to travel back in time to prevent the death of his wife and daughter, who were killed by a powerful mutant named Russell Collins. To accomplish this, Cable arrives in the present day, targeting a young Russell to eliminate him before he can become a threat. Cable is a hardened warrior, equipped with advanced technology and weaponry from the future, and his cybernetic enhancements give him superhuman strength, durability, and a variety of powerful abilities, including a cybernetic arm and a technologically advanced eye that enhances his combat skills. His grim demeanor and relentless pursuit of his mission makes him a powerful enemy, and Cable's mission is in direct conflict with Deadpool, as Deadpool seeks to protect Russell and believes in giving the boy a chance to change his future. With that being said, Cable begins to see the potential for change and redemption in Russell, ultimately deciding to work with Deadpool to prevent the boy from becoming the monster he fears. And at the end of the second movie, Cable decides to save Deadpool, now staying in the future to fight alongside him in his new team, which is a complete 180 from where his character started, making him, in my opinion, one of the best villains in these movies. Unfortunately, we don't see any more of Cable in the third Deadpool movie, but there's still a chance that we can see him in future movies to come. Dopinder is introduced as a mild-mannered, soft-spoken Indian taxi driver who ends up meeting Deadpool, and they instantly like one another, where Dopinder has a desire to start helping Deadpool out for his future missions. Although originally horrified by Deadpool's violent behavior, he is also fascinated by it and quickly develops admiration for him. We also find out about his personal life, including the love he has for a woman named Jita, who is being pursued by his more successful cousin, Bandu. Inspired by Deadpool's advice to be more assertive, Dopinder kidnaps Bandu, hoping to win Jita's affection, and eventually, Bandu gets killed. After this event, he continues to serve as Deadpool's Deadpool's loyal taxi driver, but he now harbors dreams of becoming a contract killer himself, being directly inspired by his idol. Despite his lack of skills and experience, Dopinder is determined to prove himself as a valuable member of Deadpool's team. Vanessa Carlisle starts off as a charismatic waitress in a bar where Wade Wilson frequents, and the two quickly develop a passionate and loving relationship, bonding over their shared sense of humor and challenging past. As she was abused and neglected by her parents growing up, Vanessa has an unwavering love towards Wade, and that is showcased when he is diagnosed with terminal cancer, in which she does not even think about leaving him and instantly wants to help him get treated and fight through it together. Even after Wade is kidnapped and tortured, resulting in his appearance to change drastically, she still loves and accepts him for who he is. Towards the beginning of Deadpool 2, we see her and Wade planning to start a family, but their happiness is abruptly shattered when Vanessa is killed by a thug seeking revenge on Deadpool. Her death results in Wade feeling immense guilt and grief, driving him into an existential crisis. At the end of the film, he turns back time and is ultimately able to save her. Spoilers for the third movie, it is revealed that things didn't work out between Vanessa and Wade, in which she now finds a new lover, but at the end of the film, she comes back around to Wade thanks to him saving the world. Wade Wilson, who of course goes by Deadpool, starts as a former Special Forces operative turned mercenary, living a relatively carefree life in New York City. After meeting and falling in love with Vanessa, he is diagnosed with terminal cancer, and he is desperate to survive and stay with her, resulting in him agreeing to undergo an experimental treatment offered by a mysterious recruiter from a secret program. The treatment, conducted by the sadistic scientist Ajax, involves torture and genetic mutation to trigger any potential mutant genes. While it cures Wade's cancer and grants him accelerated healing powers, it also leaves him horribly disfigured. Enraged by his appearance and seeking revenge, Wade adopts the alter ego Deadpool and embarks on a mission to track down Ajax, hoping to force him to fix his disfigurement. Although he eventually finds Ajax, it is revealed that he is not able to fix his new appearance, but at this point, he has already learned to accept it. In the sequel movie, Wade continues taking on various mercenary jobs, and after Vanessa is killed, he attempts to end his life but finds himself unable to do so due to his healing powers. Deadpool is eventually recruited by Colossus to join the X-Men as a form of therapy and redemption, and during a mission, Deadpool meets Russell Collins, a young mutant being abused at an orphanage, and he now has the goal to protect Russell no matter what. At the end of the movie, he sacrifices himself to protect Russell, and he eventually is saved by Cable, and now being able to turn back time, Wade saves those he cares about, such as Vanessa, while also killing others he thinks shouldn't be alive. Spoilers for the third movie, Wade now seeks a higher purpose in life, attempting to join the Avengers, but is ultimately denied from doing so. He then decides to live out an ordinary mundane life, and over the next 6 years, he works alongside Peter at a used car dealership. Eventually, he is seeked out by a man known as Paradox, who works at the Time Variance Authority, and he wants Wade to help him with erasing timelines, including Wade's own, with Wade of course refusing. Deadpool, alongside Wolverine, are sent to the Void, and they navigate it together, trying to find their way back with the goal of saving the people that they care about in their own worlds. After returning to Wade's world, they put a stop to it being pruned, risking their lives in the process, and they barely save the day, with Wade officially for the first time doing something very heroic, fulfilling the purpose he was previously seeking out, and now he seems to be on a much better path in life. Francis Freeman, notoriously known as Ajax, is a mutant who is immune to pain, and he previously underwent a procedure of being tortured relentlessly, just like Wade, until he gained the abilities he now possesses. He serves as the primary antagonist of the first Deadpool movie, as he is now a key figure in the organization that subjects terminally ill people to torturous experiments in the hope of awakening latent mutant genes. Ajax is responsible for torturing Wade Wilson, ultimately causing his transformation into Deadpool, and after Deadpool tracks him down, they end up having an epic final battle, but ultimately, Ajax ends up losing and dying. Nina Thurman, more popularly known as Domino, is a mutant mercenary with the extraordinary ability to manipulate luck into her favor. This power makes her a valuable ally in high-stakes situations, where improbable outcomes consistently work in her favor, and she joins Deadpool's X-Force team to rescue the young mutant Russell, and after every member of X-Force is brutally killed, she and Deadpool are the only ones that remain. At the end of the second movie, we see that she joins the new and improved X-Force, but ultimately, she is absent from the third Deadpool movie. Paradox, one of the major antagonists of Deadpool and Wolverine, is a defected agent who works for the Time Variance Authority, and he was placed in charge of overseeing the timelines within the multiverse. Having constructed an unauthorized Time Ripper capable of destroying timelines entirely, Paradox planned to accelerate the destruction of a timeline due to the death of its anchor being Wolverine. He recruits Deadpool and gives him the chance to relocate to Earth 616, but this act backfires heavily when Deadpool learns of Paradox's conspiracy, and he manages to go to different realities in search of a new anchor being for his reality. After Paradox prunes Deadpool and Wolverine, he continues on with his plan of pruning the other timelines, but Deadpool returns at the end of the movie, putting a stop to his plot, and Paradox is eventually arrested by the TVA due to his defection. affection. Jack Hammer, who goes by Weasel, is Wade Wilson's best friend, and he is the owner and bartender of Sister Margaret's School for Wayward Children, a bar frequented by many mercenaries. He has a sarcastic and cynical personality, and despite his somewhat cowardly nature, he offers Wade emotional support and occasionally assists him in mercenary activities. He also helps with assembling X-Force in the second Deadpool movie, and he continues acting as a good friend to Wade no matter what. Cassandra Nova Xavier, who is the twin sister of Charles Xavier, also known as Professor X, is the main antagonist of the third Deadpool movie. In the womb, she attempted to kill her twin brother, and quickly after her birth, she was sent to the Void by the Time Variance Authority. She is a mutant with telekinetic powers, now residing in the Void, and the TVA allow her to run her operations here. She built a fortified community of survivors, despite opposition from some who sought to overthrow her, and here she eventually encounters Deadpool and Wolverine as they are trying to return home. At first, she initially prevents them from departing, but towards the end of the movie, she ends up letting them escape as Wolverine talks with her and helps guide her to a better way of thinking. Although there may have been a moment of breakthrough here, it all ended up being for naught as Nova followed them, intending to use the TVA's Time Ripper to destroy all realities but the Void. Her plan ultimately failed, and she was killed when Deadpool and Wolverine overloaded the Ripper. Althea, who is referred to as Blind Al by Deadpool, is Wade Wilson's elderly, sharp-witted roommate. Despite her blindness, Al is highly independent due to using her hearing as a way to navigate the world, and she offers a motherly care to Wade. They share a unique bond, often engaging in witty banter and dark humor, and Al's presence adds a distinct dynamic to Deadpool's life, providing both comic relief and a sense of home amidst the chaos. Russell Collins, also known as Firefist, is a young mutant with the ability to generate and control fire. He is introduced in the second movie as a troubled orphan, suffering from abuse at the SX house for mutant rehabilitation. Firefist's anger and desire for revenge makes him a target for Cable, who is aiming to prevent his future atrocities. At first, Russell is a sweet and caring boy, but as the film progresses, we see that he is likely going down the path that Cable describes he is destined to, in which he starts acting more and more uncaring for others. Wade attempts to change him for the better, and due to his sacrifice and showing he cares for Russell, Russell decides to not go down the bad path he was heading towards, now taking control over his emotions, and it seems like he will become a good and functioning member of society. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like. Comment down below which of the 3 Deadpool movies is your favorite, and let me know if you would like me to cover more Marvel movies in the future. Thank you again, and goodbye.